Uh, great. Spencer's not here for kid exchange, so we will not do that. Uh, Anthony's going to provide a video. So with Rugby Explorer, we are slowly transitioning into Rugby Explorer, as Adam can attest to on his match last weekend. And Paul, you said Rugby Colorado is using Rugby Explorer, but they haven't uploaded all their teams into Rugby Explorer. So as of now, like your pre-match responsibilities are try and get rosters with names on them. Don't worry about member numbers. So just try and get a starting 1 through 23 roster with their names on them from each team, even if it's written down. Yeah, because if you do have a disciplinary report, we have to get that Jim Russell committed a red card offense and he's going to go away for a while, right? Hopefully, we I would actually contact the Wednesday before to confirm match. Like, are you guys going to put this in Rugby Explorer? Is this going to be match live scoring to kind of prod them into like, hey, yeah, we need to do that. How are we going to do that? And then all you have to really do is just go and sign the app and make sure that the people that you've carded are the people that they've also entered as carding, and then go into ref up and fill in your details, which is also good to get their names because we got to submit that to the disciplinary court, right? Nope. Nope. They start the match, they do the live scoring. You make sure it's 33-21, whatever it is that you've carded X, Y, and they show the yellow cards on there. I would imagine we're still going to need their names for disciplinary through ref up. So just make a note or take a screenshot of that. It should be for club rugby and youth rugby, which is Rugby Colorado and Rocky Mountain. It should be for everything. Probably not for tri rugby or eighth freshman sophomore, because I think they just throw them in. For festival rugby, like some of this, like the women's stuff, I don't know. Like the lumberjackies, I don't know that they're going to be doing that. But yeah.
Confirm with your teams before the game. Confirm with coaches. See.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that they're having a hard time rolling it out.
Yep. 3 days prior. Yeah. Will you be using Rugby Explorer live scoring? No, then I will need a roster of your starting 23 with names, not registration numbers. We can get that later. Great. What? Go ahead, Paul.
Yeah. So on that same
note, do you want to
again
swap my seats?
Sure. If you guys don't get a confirmation by, let's say 6 o'clock on Thursday, text, email, call, let me know, because I have to send out I call them nastygrams, because things change all the time and all that kind of stuff. So let me know by Friday at 9 a.m., not Friday at 5 p.m. that you haven't received confirmation, because at that point it's kind of moot, and who knows if whoever's in charge of it, or even if I have the right contact details, because the union's website sucks when it comes to contact stuff. So I go to that to find who I need to email, and Lord knows if it's correct or not. And so sometimes I'll just go to ref up and cross-reference it or broadcast to everyone I can find. But again, some people are not as responsive to email as, so that's why it's best to give me enough time to send that out to request the confirmation. Most of you guys have probably seen my emails, sometimes a little bit nicer than others, depends on the time of the year and maybe the time of the day. So just my favor to you is let me know earlier than later, because if it's 5 o'clock at night and I'm ready to just chill on a Friday night, that's the last fucking thing I want to do. So secondly, as part of your pre-match thing, since this is kind of a good segue, is it regulation 12 when it comes to glasses and kit. We've had two situations in the last 2 weeks where, and admittedly, it was my fault in the first place. I had a B-side match with East, relatively newer player. Kid had glasses. They were plastic frames. They had padding on them. They weren't the official IRB approved logo. It's a B-side game, one of the first games of the season. I looked at it. I debated a little bit, debated with their coach a little bit, and I let him play. Okay. I did put a caveat, and they told me that they had the goggles. They didn't want to pay. They mentioned $600. They're like 120 or something like that. But anyway, he has to get the lenses fitted to the goggles that they already have. So that takes time. I understand that. I did say, get this sorted. And then the following week, that same player tried to go in as a replacement player in an A-side game and was disallowed to wear them. And then he said, well, the referee last week said I could. Well, no. And I admit that was me. All right. So I guess for player safety, if they were to get hit hard, I think they were plastic lenses, but nonetheless, they haven't gone through the whole process being approved. And for their own player safety as well as others, let's put a hard no stance on that. It's kind of hard to know necessarily what's IRB approved or not, but maybe read up on it to know. And that goes along with all of, we don't do a lot of cleat checks necessarily, but check for jewelry and anything else metal, because some of these kids go out there with all sorts of jewelry on and they forget about it. So since we don't do a lot of cleat checks so much, something that's easily forgotten, and the goggles thing is not necessarily up for debate anymore. And I think that's really it I wanted to mention.
Does anyone know where that document exists? Of band gear? You're getting closer. It's on the law book. Where would it exist? Who do you think? Who can find it on their phone? Okay, so we have the internet. What else is on the internet? Great. No. What did Katie just say? Is it where?
Is it on the USA Rugby website?
Is there a USA Rugby website? No, that's trash.
Whoa.
Did they put that in the confirmation?
There we go.
Well, but the B-sides are officially scheduled in ref up. Yes. So you should be getting confirmation. If it's in ref up, the expectation is that you as the assigned referee should get confirmation. And that means where and when. So do that. If it's something and it doesn't specifically state that, maybe send them something back and say, just want to confirm we're playing A and then B. So, well, B-sides historically sometimes weren't necessarily in ref up, but fortunately, Rugby Colorado.
Can you guys on the Zoom see the protective clothing? Can you guys on the Zoom see that? Anyone?
I can't see anything other than your face.
Nope.
Lucky you. Probably stop sharing. Let Jim in. Let me get back in there. And Mike Lawrenson just put it up in the chat. Thank you, Mike. Get in there and share again. So it's on the USA Rugby homepage under community, under referees, under resources, second paragraph down, protective clothing and equipment. We will send out the link in the meeting recap. Angela, you'll get that from Angela and Dale. Yeah.
That's good.
Yes.
So this is what I was gonna be on state for the tight spend was, so in the clause it says, tights of kneeling, they're not. Screws around, screw out. Actives or other. Local
I think they're allowing.
Our policy is, a few years ago, we all voted to allow wearing tights for any match in Colorado. So if they're the little halfsy capri tights, that's fine. I don't care.
steam on.
Yeah. I'm not feeling anyone's tights. That's my day job. Yeah. So just allow it. Question for you regarding kit. And this is, I know how Joe will vote on this. I'm thinking of like just kind of changing our kit a little bit and adding crew socks instead of the long pull-up ones. Is that something the traditionalists would be like, oh my God, you got to pull your socks up? Or should we just get crew socks because everyone's wearing crew socks these days? You can have one or the other. Options are good? All right. Okay. Well, you ask me it's with the same colors, blue. Yeah. All right. Yeah, they're gonna be the same color, just crew socks. Sorry for all you traditionalists out there.
On the same kid thing, if anybody's interested in a Rock Mountain Rugby hat, you see me.
Or even maybe Robin socks. Yeah, okay. I tried.
Yeah.
All right. Share. So with that, we're gonna go over a little AR referee communication, and Brandon's gonna come up here and talk about the foul play protocols, and then we have some clips and whatnot, and just some demonstrations.
Awesome. Okay, I'm just gonna kind of review this in a little bit of detail, to be honest. This is our foul play framework and sanctioning for foul play via the game management guidelines. Has anybody not seen this before? Does anybody not know what the game management guidelines are? Everyone's pulled this up, everyone's seen it, has a link to it. Cool, very helpful. It's very concise way of interpreting the law book. Okay, so I'm gonna read the left side and then we'll talk about kind of specific situations on the right side. If everyone wants to move closer, go ahead. Okay, so foul play framework, what we're looking for is identifying dangerous play, late tackles, high tackles, head contact, no arms, dumping tackles, all of that stuff. Also, there is a little bit of onus on the ball carrier when it comes to leading forearms, leading elbows into the neck and the face. That is another piece of the dangerous play. So we'll start on the left side. Foul play in general, head or neck contact is pretty obvious one. This framework gives you exactly what you need as far as the degree of danger and where the contact is. So direct high force, so direct contact to the head or neck. High degree of force is always going to be a red card. If it's low force, direct, high force, indirect, more on the yellow card, indirect, low force, penalty kicks. So I'm going to go ahead and actually jump onto the right side. Then we'll talk about this actual framework of conversation because that'll lead into what we're doing. Okay, so for foul play, as far as late high shoulder charges. So in general, this is a pretty easy starting point. If 1, 2, or 3 of those exist, that's kind of your idea of where you'll be as far as penalty yellow or red card. And that is, okay, only late, only high, only a shoulder charge is only a penalty kick. If it's a late and it's high, late shoulder, we're looking at more of a yellow card. If all 3 are present, should already be triggered for that red card situation. No arms chopping tackle. There's a lot more attention on this, I would say, in the last couple of years. It's football related terms like a chop block. So people not wrapping, throwing their body shoulders directly onto the lower limbs, shins or knees. It's very dangerous. It can very easily cause injury. There is a gray block right here. So that tells you that there is no situation where this is only a penalty. So if you see this, you're reaching for your pocket for either a yellow card or a red card, depending on the degree of force more than anything and the degree of danger. For head or neck, this is more head or neck rolls, like choking alligator rolls out of a ruck situation. Accidental contact or a quick release. So just so the player realizes and basically the scenario stopped before it even happened, right? Like the contact is there, no force in any direction. You could probably just go with a penalty kick on those. Still, I think it's worthy of a penalty kick just to put notice on the offender that it's still not acceptable to make that contact. Choke and release or neck roll and release. So time we're talking about that gator roll. So if they do pull by the neck or head or over the seatbelt and they're pulling them out of a ruck, low degree of force would be a yellow card, and that full follow through or pulling a player off of their feet or some sort of odd direction would definitely be a high degree of danger, red card. Lifting, what we call dump tackles or spear tackles, where the player's feet is completely lifted off the ground. Well, the rugby term we always say is beyond the horizontal. So again, this is one of those frameworks where there is no penalty kick situation. It's green because if they ever lift past the horizontal and they truly bring the player down safely and they haven't driven them or dropped them down, that's a play on. There is no penalty kick situation for that. So what we say is beyond horizontal. So lifting beyond the horizontal, they've landed on their back or their side. That's going to be a clear yellow card. And lifting beyond the horizontal, landing on their head or neck will be a red card. I will add to this that with the landing on head or neck, in these situations, it is very reactionary for the tackled player, the ball carrier, to reach their arms out and just to like brace their impact. Them bracing their impact and then next landing on their head doesn't mitigate the fact that they would have landed on their head or their neck. That's going to be a red card.
What is, as you're refereeing this, what is a true sign that they've been picked up and probably taken past the horizontal? What is the trigger for you guys to look at?
Shoulder below their hips or feet above their hips.
Okay,
On the
mainly by
tackle.
the tackler. By the tackler. What are you looking for the tackler?
You'll see it.
What was that? His elbow is up. So like if you see someone pick it up and his elbow goes up, you're like, okay, that's a trigger right now. I'm already looking how he lands.
Oh, I didn't see chat.
How they-
Sorry, y'all.
Yeah, that's fine. That's lifting, but then you have to take him past the horizontal. I'll go to chat.
You got the chat? Okay.
Can you clarify that first thing you said, where if they're lifted but set down?
Yeah, so let's think of this yellow card situation more so, because if they're ever going to land on their head or neck, it's going to be a red card that's dangerous. So if a tackler has lifted this ball, so there's clear separation from the ground, they're holding them in a position that you're already thinking that they're going to land on their back or their side, and the tackler is aware enough in the moment and they are set on the ground, like it's seriously set on the ground, like gently without being dropped or driven into the ground. Those, thank you, controlled return to the ground. Those can be play-ons. It is less often than I feel like in my personal experience, if anyone else wants to chime in, if I see already those triggers and the body going past the horizontal, I most likely am prepared for a yellow or red card. I'm not really doing too many play-ons because it's very rare that someone in that instance is so aware of the safety of the ball carrier. That's fair. Yeah, if they have the time, that's a good. Yeah. Yeah, that's always fair. If you have that amount of time that you can manage your way out of a card or out of a dangerous situation or even just out of a player getting hurt, use your voice and avoid the situation. I think that that's always good. Okay, got two more. So challenging in the air. Usually this is like a kick chased or off of a restart kick, off of a kickoff. Just contact. Well, first of all, it has to be a fair challenge. All these say not fair challenge. So a fair challenge, what would a fair challenge be to you all? Both trying to catch it in a realistic position to catch the ball. Similar levels, yeah. So definitely like at a similar level, realistic position to catch the ball. I think that you'll hear a lot of arguments of eyes on the ball. Eyes on the ball is not enough to be in the correct position. And that's what a lot of offenders will try to reason with you, but it has to be a fair challenge. Wrong timing, simply just wrong timing. They make weird contact. The opposing player, the non-offending player just lands on their feet or on their butt, then it's fine. Penalty kick, or sorry, it's not fine. Penalty kick only. If the scenario ends up with the non-offending player landing on their back or their side, some dump tackle, yellow card, and then back to landing on neck or head area, your red cards. And then over the shoulder, it's called a seatbelt tackle. These are typically very soft, high tackles. Low force just by nature of the tackle, and those should just be penalty kicks only. And so without that, you're usually at a different you're at the other head or neck contact framework. Is it good with that? Yeah. Right. Okay, so before moving, there's a reason why I know I'm just like reading through this, but it's good to just talk about it and have the pictures. So do we need any verification on anything? Yes. Yes. Yeah, that's a good observation. It's definitely like typical scenarios are at. Do you have an explanation? You go ahead.
All right.
So yeah. So that's a good observation. Typically at in goal, like you have to in the moment, you as a referee have to you set your expectation of what do you accept as an attempted wrap. I would say for me, it's more of an attempted wrap than anything. Usually you see either a tucked like shoulder or like you said, it is some in the scenario you're saying you have the ball carrier has 100 pounds on you. So they're throwing more of their body, their back, their shoulders. You have like elbows behind their body, just yeah.
What is something you're looking for to trigger you that's going to be a chop tackle? Their hands are on the ground.
Yes.
Yeah, so they go, they immediately like just go down and they put their hands, if their hands go up first, then there's an attempt to wrap. So like if our hands are up, that's fine. If our hands are down on the ground, already like our I just can't wrap from this point. Hit and then wrap. I have to have my Like a no wrap tackle, if I'm making contact with Art. Like I'm running into him, my shoulders are back, then that's a no rep tackle. Yeah, I can't do this. Sir, sir. What I can do is have my arms out like this, hit it like that. Yeah. Cause that's, so that is an attempt to wrap, that is no attempt. And basically. Going down like that. Check, there's no attempt to wrap. So, like, for me, it's where did he hit? Is it a joint? Is it a knee or a thigh? If it's a knee, it's high force. If it's a thigh or even if it's pretty much gonna be.
What I didn't do, so we're gonna do like a little example of seeing some foul play and talking about it. I didn't do anything with the chopping tackles. There's some clips in Advantage that I'll clip and then I'll send out like 2 or 3 because we have examples, I think, even this year of talking about some yellow card and red card situations. So just to give you guys like that visual of what that actually means.
Good.
Yeah. So yeah, those are all important. Talking about the like preemptively having those pictures in your head, no arms chopping. We're talking about goal line or those chase downs with the dump tackle, with looking for that elbow, that tilting elbow in the air, and then challenging in the air, seeing that the actual timing in a realistic position. So thinking about those situations is important. Any other questions on any of these kind of decisions between cards, penalty?
Tackle safely.
Yep.
Just by a show of hands, and this will be an easier question if I ask who doesn't. And who does have an account in Advantage? All right.
Everyone.
Maybe. You have to go create it. You're given the rights to. So I put the link in the chat. It's also, we'll send that out.
You put a link to this too. This is in.
Yeah, the game management guidelines.
Yeah, to USA Rugby, or is it on?
And then it's
also-
live.advantagereferee.com. When you sign up for USA Rugby, you are given credentials for this. If for some reason you can't get in, give me an email. I'm a super admin. I can add you to it. All right.
Yeah.
If
So
you're- if you're out there refereeing, if you are serious about your development and you want to get to the top, if you get a match with video, I strongly suggest you put it in Advantage. If no one's going to coach you on it, just getting in there and tagging the match yourself will give you so much more development than a 3-goal coaching report that Joe or I can give you. You can just like, oh my God, that's 40 penalties. That's 16 at the tackle. Just like self-reflection part of Advantage alone. It takes about a minute for every minute of video to actually code a match once you get proficient at it. So it's probably a 2-to-1 until you get. Yeah. When you do load video, there is one caveat. It can be no more than 5 gigs. So if you have a 13 gig video because they recorded in 8K, give me a shout. Like I have the video, I can't load it. Let me help you guys out, or Katie or Brendan or Mike Lawrenson. We can help. We have the tools to compress that, sort it out, and get it in there. Okay.
cool.
So
Okay. So we're gonna do some practices here in a second. I won't go as in depth into these ones, but this is kind of your framework for thinking about this, whether you're in real time and just you as a center referee alone, or you have a team of three and you're an AR and you're thinking about these situations too. So number one is always, is there foul play? Are any of these blue squares, are any of those present first and foremost? What is the degree of danger, direct, indirect, degree of force? Yeah, comment?
Yeah.
Go
So
ahead.
technically, these 4 questions on the left are only for the head contact frame. So you'll ask the 4 questions is there head contact? Yes or no? If so, is there foul play? Like, and then is there any, is there head contact? Is it foul play? Degree of danger and mitigation.
Yes.
For the other
Sorry,
foul
thank
play, it's kind of if you see that box. So if you see a lifting horizontal tackle that lands on the side, it's always going to be a yellow. There's no mitigation for, oh, but the tackler had a sudden drop in height. There's not mitigation for the right side foul play. The left side, so just head contact, is where you ask yourself, is there foul play? If I'm just running and Brandon and I smack into each other, we're on the same team, it's not foul play. We might have had head contact. So first question is, for the left side head contact framework, is there head contact? Yes or no? Is there foul play? Degree of danger. In degree of danger, there's those 2 parts of direct or indirect contact. Indirect contact, I hit the neck and then slide up to the head. Direct contact, I just smack him right in the head. High force and low force, what is the degree of force in there? One thing that I worked really hard on is degree of danger and amount of force are different. Force goes into the danger, but it's not the only thing. I'll let you go for that.
No, that's good. Thank you for just
It's
bringing
one
me
thing
back
we
to,
already
yes,
talked a lot about it.
absolutely. Mitigating factors, really what a mitigating factor is will take you from where your first 2 are the head contact, foul play, degree of danger, and it can mitigate you down from only 1 step, like say a red card to a yellow to a penalty kick, never from 2 degrees of mitigating factors. Examples are a sudden drop in height. So, like if somebody slips and then there's head contact there, just change in dynamics, change in direction, sudden changes. Other things that are not mitigating factors are just like highly reckless, highly like dangerous scenarios. We don't apply mitigation to those. And then clearly time to make a decision. They had a lot of running room, a lot of space before making that contact that they could have changed their height, their force, direction, point of contact, all of that. Especially well, this would apply, I would say, to both ARs and center referees. That's not listed on here. Another for sure mitigating factor is if you are not sure. If you are not sure that it was, if it was direct and high force, if you have a really high force, high tackle, but you weren't sure if it was direct to the head first, you think it might have slid up, that's your mitigating factor. Fair? Cool. All right. Yes. Yeah. If you're unsure, you have to follow just, we want to be as objective as possible and we want to just follow what we know, and not knowing is, I guess erring on the side of caution is just being unsure. So I don't want to give a red card unless I'm 100% sure that I am ready to give a red card. Yeah.
Our goal for foul play and discipline, right, is to be 1 off. Like if it's a red card, and you go yellow card, we'll back you. I mean, we're always going to back you. If it's a red card and you go penalty only, we're going to want to recalibrate, right? If it's a penalty only and you go red card, we're going to want to recalibrate. So we always our goal is to nail it, but to be 1 off is okay. We don't have TMOs. We're developing ARs. We have 3 sets of comms. So we're trying to get more tools, but 1 off is all right.
Okay. So we're going to do a few clips, and before jumping into those 2 not involved in this, we also want to, these clips are less to identify, we could talk about but No, they're less to identify like what the foul play was and more so to demonstrate what the conversation between an AR and a center ref should be and what kind of information you should be giving according to this framework. And our goal is to be concise and objective, just give information of what you saw, not like, and factor out those or add in any mitigating factors that you've seen and try to err away from like unsure, I think it might have, and just be concise and objective.
Confident in your communication.
Yeah. I don't know how to get to the.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna watch a clip.
No mitigation.
Thank you. Awesome. That let's imagine that. So I'll be the AR. Mark is unsighted of any. He's our center referee. He didn't see any of this that happened. So I'm calling in foul play, and I need to have a conversation. Okay.
One or two Saracens errors. Here he goes again. Atkinson. It's run the last minute. And there it is. Owen Farrell, the moment he'd done it, acknowledging the mistake he'd made.
We
But
can't
by
see
then,
anything.
the damage was done.
Mark, I have serious foul play.
Time off. Team, go 10. Teams go 10. Brandon, 1. Brandon, what do you got?
So black 10 in the tackle had direct contact to the head, to the swing arm, and the high.
So, keep that black 10. Swing on tackle, direct contact to the head.
No.
Captain, black 10. Then I'll say, look, we have swing on tackle, direct contact, head, no mitigation. That's a red card on. Cool, right? So, yeah. Things to think about is if you do get an AR called unsighted and it's serious foul play, that's the trigger. I gotta stop the game. Right? If flag is out, calmed in, and I'm gonna stop the game. Separate both teams. Because at least, no matter what, one team is gonna be 10 meters away. So just get both teams out. Then calmly bring your AR over, and then he can collect his thoughts, or she can collect her thoughts of what they're gonna say. If you didn't see it, let him lead the conversation. Repeat back the key factors, come to a decision, and then award the sanction. All right? Any questions, Angela?
Where did the arm contact on the ball?
No, what she's saying, if it wasn't on the neck, if it just came in, hit like that. So then, right, I mean, could have been a senior display, yellow card, because it wasn't this.
Okay, so
Right.
is there contact to the head?
But by then, the damage was done.
Foul play. Right. Swinging arm tackle. Right. With a high degree of force.
Yeah.
So I'd probably go, what should we go with that?
I would go yellow.
Don't have any. All agreement that a swing arm tackle to the midsection with a high degree of force or low degree of force, is probably gonna be low. It's all swinging arm.
So,
Clothesline is back.
So direct.
Yeah, it's head/neck.
Well, I didn't see it. Turn around. Well, that's correct.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yes.
are. Yeah. Contact us. Did not touch the neck.
So indirect is this. Indirect is this. This is indirect.
Because
This is direct.
it is head/neck contact. Directly to the head is still painful. To the neck also affects your head. If it's just at his shoulder and stays at his shoulder, that's what can be just a high tackle. If you're in neck territory at all, that counts as head contact as well. So it is head/neck contact. Does that?
In adult Europe, high tackle, high school Europe. Use that for, yeah, shape notes on. Yep.
There's someone wanting to share the clip.
We can share these for everyone online, just the response to the chat, though. We'll share these clips in an email or in the summary after.
Yeah, we will share all of the clips.
Yeah.
When you're calling the foul play.
Yeah.
That's the back. So the question is asked, unless they ask you what.
So your goal as an AR or TMO is to lead through your communication to the correct sanction, right? So if you're saying I have direct contact, high degree of force to the head,
Well,
how many?
schedule against, but goodness me, that was the most significant moment of the Saracens loss game. Owen Farrell, red carded for a high tackle on Charlie Atkinson. And then it is Jack Willis, Tom Willis, rather, brother of Jack, going over for the try, which secures victory for Wasps. Lawrence, that just looking at that clip, that was a red card, no question about that. That could have serious implications for England, but at the moment, most importantly, for Saracens with every game coming up.
It's a really bad one. I can't defend that. I mean, we know Owen plays hard, he plays on the edge, but that's, that is bad. And
Thank you.
They want to help them through the framework.
Yeah.
In the moment.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, always repeat the whole story back. So you do it.
The trap in that, me as the senior AR, and I know everything about Adam, I have foul play for you. I have indirect contact, high degree of force, blah, 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 and you should red card. And now Adam's in a hole. Because now that came over broadcast, or it came over someone hearing, or the coach heard it, or something. And now you just said I should red card it, and you're giving me yellow card sanctions. Yeah, so whatever, like don't just give it to the referee. Get him or her to that outcome using your word. If Adam comes back to me like, man, I'm sorry, I missed the meeting, I have no idea what to do. Like, go. Then you can
Don't call it in and be like, red card on 10.
Yeah, that's not what we want. It's not what we want. Give us the facts, lead us to water, let us drink the water.
You can
Right.
have your opinion in your head. Like I says, like I think this is a red card. If I'm telling the story to Brandon, like Brandon, I have direct contact to the head at high force. He says I'm thinking yellow card. I'm gonna repeat. I have direct contact to the head
the challenge.
with high force. If he still says yellow card, I'm gonna let him have that. We can't have a long conversation. I'm gonna give him my facts. He can repeat it. I'm gonna restate the important facts. If he's still on his first opinion, then I'm gonna let it go because he is a referee in the center and having that game,
Yeah.
and he
Agreed.
makes his choice.
Agreed with just like repeating and emphasizing, like you don't want to go, I think it's a little more serious than that, because then you, especially with like the broadcasting and the framework of that, it's a bad optic and terrible thing to hear that if you're disagreeing on the call. Repeat, emphasize, clarify, maybe something that like they're high impact moments and they're high nerves moments. Like maybe you're speaking a little quick or a little frantic, so gives you maybe a second.
Like Mark said, give the AR a chance to get their thoughts together. Yourself, yeah.
Okay, we're gonna run through one more. And, or one or two or three more, and we'll be able to touch upon. Just kind of notice like how our body language is. What are we doing with our hands? Are we gestating? Are we talking like this? You know, are we looking at the team? Like, that's all kind of important. Like body language and communication. Don't show it a swing.
Y'all ready for number 2?
I can't talk without my hands. I'll put them in my pocket.
Takes it back to the blast.
I thought it was him, but yes, definitely Lomax. And that's a forearm to the head, which will be yellow.
So Bears, we've got the Argentinian player on the ground. We've got Dean Black who's coming in with
Mark. Time off. Brandon.
Black 18, at the clean out, left his feet, led with the forearm and made direct contact.
Captain, here, go away.
Clear, concise,
So
makes sense?
thing with that, Mark is listening for those 4 points. He's listening for, was there foul play? Yes. Was there head contact? Yes. What was the degree of danger? So he's looking for direct or indirect and high or low force. Was it direct head contact or indirect? Direct. Yep.
So my key there was the saying high force, that said they left his feet.
Mhm.
So for that image, have a player flying in with direct head contact, that was the way I led.
And Mark goes down the own.
Maybe if he wasn't, maybe if we didn't agree there, I would have said he left his feet and made head contact with a high. And we need to get going.
Well, I kind of have to question why you couldn't have a little conversation about what you agree on, because you are working as a team.
Mhm.
As center rep, we are, so you want to see the same thing. Mark may have not seen it because he turned just briefly to watch the ball follow or whatever, you know, you saw it, and why couldn't we just get a few more questions, or you could even give him a little bit more of a lead? Like I say, because you are working as a team, you're trying to come up with the same.
So
Yeah. More like a fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll backtrack to that, even though I just said that I wouldn't give like a recommendation. Like this is at like this is like our goal conversation right now. Like that's like our like platinum package level conversation right there. But if we're having somebody who's a little bit newer and like how Mark was saying, like we only want to be 1 degree off. So if it was a red card situation and maybe it is a newer referee in a newer game and they're saying, okay, what the information I'm giving them is penalty kick only, I might say I think it's a little more, because I can't let that player not go unsanctioned.
Right, and that's
In that scenario.
that would be the support that I would expect if you're my AR,
Yeah.
Katie's my AR, and I'm just like, not in a panic, but like, the hell just happened? Kind of,
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
then I can play in my mind, it's like, okay, I now I see,
Mm.
you know, get the right questions in my mind, come to my AR, but even though my AR is more experienced, hopefully try to like, here's what I saw, degree of danger.
just, oh, yeah, it's all great. Just for the sake of timing, had more, but these are good conversations, good verifications. Just one other, that there was one that was a non-card situation. If it's a non-card situation, when we're blowing time off and we're having a conversation, it's a very big spectacle where the game is completely about the players, and this is the one time where it's all on you. So, so when we are turning time off and we're having these conversations, usually even like the crowd visuals are expecting something big to happen there. So we don't want to have time off just for, hey, you need to watch the offsides, okay? Like, and then we're having a whole this downtime for something that really didn't need to be downtime. Penalties only. Call in color, number, sanction, black, 10, high tackle, and that's as a center referee, that's your understanding that you don't need to stop the game. It's just black 10 high tackle, and you can manage how you want.
How long should this process take from when Brandon comes to talk to me to I award a sanction? Ideally, we can get this done in less than 10 seconds. Well, no, but when Brandon talks to me, so I get the message, I come up with an outcome, and I pick it up, right? So this conversation needs to be 7 seconds, 10 seconds. And then we can get on with that, right? But ideally, even in every interaction you have with your captain, your goal is 7 seconds. You have 7 seconds to communicate what you need from that captain, change the behavior. Okay? That time, it's not a debate. So if you have something you need to get across, foul play is egregious. Brandon's gonna, well, I need you to watch the offside lines and scrummage is illegal. Like right now, foul play needs to be taken care of, not a debate. I have an issue. You need to sort the issue. Do not sort the issue. I have other means of solving that issue. That's it. Don't start engaging with them and getting into that, and then that starts to lead to a back and forth, and then debate, and it leads to. All right.
So, higher level view of all this, wrapping it up. This is something that we actually did in real-time practice at the camps, and they had us review this. They had us outside, gave us certain clips like this. There's a bunch of them to practice, and they had us actually do these conversations real time. So I know it's right now we're at like, let's say we're at level 1 right now, where you guys are just hearing us, looking at the clips, getting an idea of it. You need to put it into practice. So we're hoping that maybe in one of the next meetings or within our pods or something like that, we'll do this actual real-time practice, because it matters. All of us are in the same society. We're all repping the same games, ARing for each other. It's really good if we all like get comfortable with that communication. So from here, we'll have that practice coming down the line. So it will happen. Good. Cool.
Great activity to get into your pods. Schedule a Tuesday night, hour-long session. You can use these clips. We can just, the society pays for access to Zoom, so I can set a meeting for you guys if you want, and you can use Zoom and record it, give feedback, whatever you guys need. All right.
Any last questions, clarifications? We will send all the clips, all the info, all that.
The more you practice this process outside of the game, the easier it is when you're in the moment and really stressed.
This is one of my personal work-ons for my personal development plan, because throughout the last year in my film reviews, I've had multiple times where I'm like, time off. Okay, what the heck is going on? And I'm just so frantic with like, once that time is off, that is your time. Take a breath, think about the situation, get the call right. So I have personal issues with this because I just get too frantic. So it's not something that, it takes time, it takes practice.
Gotta go into your Zen mode. Okay.
I try now.
Okay, cool. So with that, we're gonna try and record the outdoor session on my phone and add that to the end of this meeting. So those of you on the Zoom, thanks for joining us. There are some benefits trying to make these meetings. I know that there's Charlie, you live in Wyoming, and Jim, you've taken a bit of a tumble, so we'll get you back here, but we're gonna try and record this on my phone and add that to the meeting. So thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, let's just kind of like take Brandon, Joe, Mike Hecker, Angela, Dale, Fossey, and Art, and Paul, and kind of be a team attacking. We got the ball. So just be like some forwards and some backs. Katie, you can. Very experienced ref. Attackers are going in. Let's go forward. Come on in, guys. So ideally, when we're approaching a breakdown, this is the breakdown here. We're always attacking. We're like, whoever we're running to, we're coming at that breakdown at a 45. So we're coming off a line out. We went into this at a 45 and be about this close away from that breakdown, right? So you're walking into it, you're seeing things happen. You're at this 45. Stay parallel to the goal line with your shoulders, right? You don't come into a breakdown like this. What's going on? Run into it, and just open up your shoulder. And that allows me to see that offside wing there and manage these pillars here. Okay? If there's a scrum half, Dale, that ball is clearly won, and the scrum half steps in. Which way is that scrum half going to pass? Right now, he's going. I'm going forward passing because. Okay, so how can I tell that? His hips are facing. So if you come in this 45 and the ball's won, and you've adjudicated the ball, you've adjudicated the inside players, and ball's available, and now you look to see the scrum half. Where should you go? Okay. So ideally, we know the ball is going to come this way. I've seen a lot of referees dropping back here to the saddle, which takes you 6 steps away to get back. I see Angela suggest I'm just going to pivot and go into the defense, which could potentially block her, or I'm now getting in the way. But also, if Dale passes to Joe, I'm now 3 steps plus 3 steps away from being back to Joe. So ideally, ball's 31, I see Dale's coming out. I'm just going to come out this way and let Joe either attack or pass, and then I can fall and go ball the line. Now if Dale goes the other way, you're approaching the breakdown like this. Approaching the breakdown like this. Robin's an inside player. I can just go step. Right? I can now, ball's won. I can see on the wings. What I want to do is I want to transition and be about arm's length away from this player. I don't want to drop too much in the saddle, so I really can't see an angle of Lucas or Robin or Paul coming in and seeing if they're really on side. Right? So ideally, I want to make that transition as that ball's emerging. Just letting it come. Right here. Joe gets that ball. Joe gets tackled. Alright. Joe gets tackled. Again, you're at a 45. Right? If I want to come over, because all the backs are lining up this way, I can now come over here, still at that
back, right, and then come out. Brandon gets tackled. Onto this 45, and now all the players are this way. All the players are this way. Maybe I can just spin over this way real quick. Definitely like being at 45, as the ball's coming out that way, you start to transition. And again, arms length away. Arms length away. Back up. Let it come. Katie gets tackled. Right? A real simple process of just always driving to 45. If we do have a ruck here between Mike and Lucas, I see a lot of this having, it's a 45, and then you're coming here, and I'm trying to push you here. And then the ball comes out and I gotta come back. If I can't get the ball onside, steps, it's fine. And if we do it like, you put your body on there, and then just transition to defense. But no, you gotta work 3 steps and 3 steps to get ball in line. So what is ball in line running? All right, let's get a back line out here. We're gonna walk through this. So you're saying that you want to arrive with a 45, maybe this distance. Yeah, about. And then if they train it, because you're anticipating. So right here, I can see Art, I can see Robin, all while staring at Brandon. I can see Art's going away and getting out.
We got the cheaters.
If I'm right here, I cannot see Art, and I can't really see Robin. Okay?
I need an extra step.
This far away, all right, 2 meters. And then they're going to transition. So then you're just moving up here. Well, so I'm worried about the breakdown. Yeah, you got to work breakdown, start with the feed. I'm worried about breakdown. Once the breakdown is no longer contested, I'm worried about the inside players, which is Paul. We had a Lucas. The inside players I'm worried about. Once they're all sorted, I'm worried about the outside players. Right? So every breakdown, I'm right over to 45 and think bio, ball. Ball's fine. Paul, step back. Wait, get outside. And then the ball's emerging. Right? Let's walk. I'm a rep. Yeah. So, what I'm doing is the ball is working like this. It's working like this. Mike gets tackled. Don't go down. Don't go down. Mike gets tackled. We're now arriving at a breakdown. Flat. And we're not adjusting. Referee's not adjusting right here. We need you to arrive at a 45. So if we redo that again, ideally we want to get you guys in ball line running. So as that ball emerges, to a deep back line. You're going to go back to the flat half. This ball with flat. So it's a hard 2 or 3 steps to get back to the 10. Hump the 10, chase the 10, ball in line running. It's not like a flat attack. It's like I'm just going to run to the next one. Be really lazy. And then if they don't make the gain line and it's a neutral tackle, you're in no man's land. So you either adjust and then come in. Hard, these guys hard running, go back to the 10, and then automatically, like you're coming into that ball in line. Does that make sense? Yeah. So close to the breakdown within about 2 meters. Arrive at the 45, sort the ball out, get the inside players on side.
Bio.
Outside players, right? And then as you exit, if you're switching from this position to that one, stay close and try and time it. Let that pass come out in front of you. Because you don't want to cross these passing. Right? If you are going to cross, it's in the B range. Or the full. And then I can see
this way. You take a wide, expansive approach to that and let them crash. And if they do crash, then bang right there. And if they do run to the outside center, inside center, just a quick, olay. It's very easy to do. Being right where the 10's at, he's coming quick. It's really hard to get out of that way. The center you have a little more time. Does that make sense?
So if the scrum half fakes you and you end up on the wrong side?
That's what's going to happen with a 9.
No.
And you just rely on your speed. In some of the lower level games, you're going to see the 9s come in like this, right? And then go like that.
I know.
Sorry.
Oh, you didn't want to. Do your best.
Yeah. Ball, bio, inside players, outside players, arrive at a 45, hunt the 10, get ball in line, set yourself up. Do not shoot across, all right? That's the best advice, right? The reason I'm wanting you guys to stress this is because when you arrive at a 45, you will then have the picture of tacklers, ball carriers, exercise droppers, arriving players. If you guys are coming straight and late square, you're seeing a lot of hands in the rug balls off feet, ball carried on the tackler end ball. You're not getting the picture we need you to get the tackler first, the ball carrier, the exercise options, and the arriving players. And the best way to do that is set yourself up by getting in a 45 and having that picture. Okay? That's really cool to hear. Any other questions? Good. This can be done like walking pace. Throw some cones out. There's scrimmages, there's training here all night. Come meet a coach and say, you're gonna do ruck and run drills? Can I come run lines with you guys? And just work on arriving at a 45. Hunt the 10, arrive at a 45. Coming up this way. Hunt the, arrive at a 45, transition over. If you've all seen that whistleblower show, you see Angus Gardner out there practicing a match before your referees. It's not a bad idea. Yeah. One of our English exchange referees, when I was newer, as a new referee, you're like ball focused, right? And this is north-south refereeing. One of the best pieces of advice he gave me is point at the ball and then point outwards. Your head automatically goes this way. You got a 45, you can use your peripheral vision, but it makes you straighten up. Like if you point. It's just like it changed my game. So, yeah, you just arrive. And it says like,
Okay, what about, so I arrive at a 45, you're tackled, I come up, okay, there's my breakdown, and then, what about stepping up closer and,
no.
No?
Nah. Why do you need to be that close?
I don't know, Brewer had me working on that this week.
I don't think you need to be that close.
Okay.
If you're worried about like having to shout, tackler roll away, well, they've already not rolled.
Right.
So you don't have to worry about like really preventing stuff. The only thing you can really prevent stuff is backing up. Entering a breakdown, release now, it's pretty much new. Like, if I have to tell you to roll, then that's the expectation that I'm gonna lay there until you tell me to roll. If I tell you to release, it's just clear to set a standard, like, no, you must release. They all know. All these players know that they have to release the ball.
Yeah.
And getting that close, I don't know why. You're just gonna get in the way.
I don't know, it felt that it was
Come
a
in.
little bit nerving
Come
at
in.
first, but then what I noticed too, that it also kept the defense back a little bit. I called one offside the whole game.
Yeah.
And that's just because the kids kept creeping in and I finally got tired of it, so I called. But I mean, they all stayed pretty good. And then, the ball went this way, I could just step and go. The ball went this way, I could just step and go. But I felt like I had to make sure I looked over my shoulder to make sure they weren't switching.
Okay, if it's working for you, that's great.
Well, I imagine you can just change things up a bit to see what works.
One thing about space, it's no longer that you're not clearly offside. It's the player's picture to give to you that they are clearly onside, right? So if Robin is the last foot, yes, I am clearly not offside, right? But I am now clearly onside. And honestly, is this going to save the try any more than that? But this is liable for 3 points. Then that is not. And that's what I wish they would all learn. So clearly onside, right?
Mark, while we're here, do we want each person to practice arrive at 45?
Yeah, you wanna do that?
I would like to do that, yeah.
All right, let's break into 4 groups and just kind of, yeah, Brandon, go do the 50. You can turn that on.